Mariya Takeuchi. If that's a name that you haven't heard of in the city pop genre of the numerous amounts of city pop artists that's out there, you know Mariya Takeuchi is a pretty big name in the city pop landscape of J-pop music. And what am I talking about today? Well, I want to talk about an album that I would like to recommend and share to y'all because this is an album that, for me personally, was able to help me get through the rough times of the COVID pandemic. And obviously, I'm not talking about her big breakout hit single "Plastic Love," which admittedly is the song that got me into the city pop genre in the first place. But it's I'm not talking about Plastic Love. I'm not talking about her album Variety, which is where Plastic Love originally stemmed from. I'm talking about a Mariya Takeuchi album that I had to stumble across when going to her back catalog past before Variety even came out. And that is to talk about Love Songs, her 1980 album. So, yeah, this this bad girl right here, this is an album that I absolutely love and adore. And essentially this album really helped me during such a really pivotal time period, which was COVID pandemic. So a little bit of background to how I got to this point of this album. So basically, if everyone remember during 2020, 2021, it was COVID pandemic lockdown, everyone was stuck inside, and during that time period, you pretty much get to discover and do a lot more things inside than you normally would. And discovering Mariya Takeuchi was one of the main people. I mean, after all, it's not just her that I discovered. I also discovered like other city pop artists like Henri, which I will be more than happy to talk about in a future video. But point being is that Mariya Takeuchi's music, her Plastic Love single, really struck a chord to me to really check out all of her most well-known, talked about city pop content because it was popping off so much because of the resurgence that was coming out during the COVID pandemic. And I guess to give more background too, during this time period of my life, like 2020, 2021, I was just stuck in lockdown. That year was also like again one of the worst years of my life because that was the moment where I couldn't really do the things that I was promised to hopefully get done in 2020. I couldn't get done at all because everyone was stuck in lockdown more or less, and you couldn't hang out with your friends, couldn't hang out with really close family members. You were basically stuck in isolation at home with little to no one to talk to except your computer screen, like I'm talking to you guys right now. And Mariya Takeuchi was one of those artists that really helped me get through those troubling, lonely times, and has given me songs that I was able to listen to that I love and adore and just can relate to a degree. And I will say this before going into and diving into why this album is really good here, Love Songs itself. I will say that Love Songs isn't like a great. It's not going to be Mariya Takeuchi's best project, as I've been listening to all Mariya Takeuchi's albums up until her 1992, 1994 album Quiet Life, I can confidently say that in the same pop landscape that Maria came from, I think her best project is going to be Request, her 1986, 1987 album, if I'm not mistaken. I think that is her best and quintessential city pop album that I would 100% want to own because that is a project I love and hold hard dearly. But again, why did I choose Love Songs and why did I choose this album out of the tons of other Maria Takeuchi albums to talk about today? Well, it's because this is not only probably the most easily accessible album that you can actually listen to online right now, but to me, this album really struck the chord to me in like a personal sense where everything about this album from start to finish just really encapsulates a lot of like the themes of love and the themes of just being happy. Like this is just a feel good, happy album that I absolutely love. Again, to kind of even sum this up in a nutshell, like there are like tracks off here that for an album that is I think 11, 12 tracks long, it is a really good and really short album. So some tracks off here that I can definitely highlight that I absolutely love is like the songs like Fly Away, Sayonara no Yoke, excuse me, Zoge Kaigen, Lonely Wind, the hit song September, which if you know, for you city pop enthusiasts, you know that song September. This is the song that really is like one of the big, well-known Maria Takeuchi songs out there. Even songs like Fushigina, Peach Pie, and Little Lullaby, like those songs are absolutely incredible. And again, I don't mean this, and I don't want to exaggerate this as much as possible, but Love Songs for me emotionally was also an album that really got me to feel a little bit confident in myself during this time period because, with the COVID pandemic and the lockdown happening, a lot of people's confidence to getting stuff done and getting things done and their dream just felt lost because of the pandemic and the isolation that came before it. And love songs for me personally really got me to be re-energized, to make me feel confident, make me do things once again, maybe go back and work on the things that I want to get done. And as the title suggests, like this album also made me want to fall in love again in the first place. And even though, as of right now, I'm still single, of course, I think that this album really was able to help me feel a lot more happier and accept myself for who I am now because of the fact that I listened to this album like front to back so many times. And like I said, her other projects could also do the same thing too, but something about this album always makes me go back to it and makes me want to talk about it every so often. And now, whenever anyone tells me, like, hey, what's a really good Mariya Takeuchi album that you would recommend? I instantly point out to this album, Love Songs, because it's such a banger of an album that even though it's not as pop centric and crazy, amazing like Variety or her Request album, I think that this album is still a must listen regardless. So yeah, Mariya Takeuchi's Love Songs is absolutely amazing. It is a classic, probably an underrated classic too, because I don't see a lot of people talking about this in the online landscape nowadays. But I figured to put it on your guys' radar because hey, I did it with the Ghost Pop tape a month or so back. I might as well do it with this album too. So yeah, just wanted to casually talk about this. That's it. See you on the next one. Later.